everyone, welcome back to the channel. Coming up in this episode, highlights from around the verse, this week with Sandy Gardner and Josh Herman, featuring the usual Burndown update with Eric Kieran Davis, and this week's special feature was all about Subsumption. But first, if you're an RSI subscriber and you haven't checked it out already, this month's subscriber flare is part of the Master of Design series. It's some ship schematics of the Drake Herald and the Mist Prospector. And this month's free ship to fly, if you're an RSI subscriber, is the Drake Herald. Now I'm in front of the Era 18 incinerator, so that means it's time to check in with Eric Kieran Davis on how they're getting on with the Burndown. Now, at the end of last week, we had 76 issues, which was stopping 3.0 going to the Evercar. Now, they've cut it down to 26. Now, some of the previous bugs have been recategorized, but this does go hand in hand with their new push for Evercar to have a focused testing of certain features. In fact, Aaron Roberts explained this himself.
I want to go to Evercar. The first thing I want to make sure we can do is traverse the system easily and well, and that's all this set of bugs is about. Is from getting in, taking off, ATC working, QTing working, being able to go to locations, all that kind of stuff. We can just get that working, and so it's not a night. I'm not going in out maps all the time trying to work whether I can jump to places and so forth. We can do that kind of stuff. Then we have what I think actually is a really good start for Evercar, because it's a lot of fun. It's fun. You go down to planets, you do some things, and then once we get this set of 26 bugs left, and don't forget, these are the 26 bugs I want fixed to go to Evercar with. But I'm sure we'll fix a bunch of other stuff, at the same time and stuff like that. And then we basically go and get that in, and then once we get that set of bugs, those set of bugs fixed, then what I want to do then is sit down again with Todd and then say, right, what's the next feature we want to focus on, and we'll pick another, say, 10, 20, like a feature. Let's say let's get trading working properly, and then maybe 10 or 15 features, and we say, right, here's the 17 bugs for that. That's the next release for Evercar. Let's get all this stuff worked on, and then we fix all the stuff in the background. We just basically pick a feature at a time, nail it down, and just keep on going that way, and that's how we're going to close this out.
Well, it certainly looks like the Evercar group will be fairly busy fairly soon, and undoubtedly that's the correct way to go to actually get that group of dedicated testers testing certain features of the upcoming 3.0 release. Now, it may well be with the Evercar for a lot longer than some previous releases, but at least we can see some light at the end of the tunnel. Now, during this Burndown episode, they showed one interesting bug they were having problems with, and that involved a ship actually getting destroyed by the presence of a player, and this was all tied in with changes they made to get ships landing on the Idris for the Gamescom demo. Now, this is a great example of changing the program to actually enable certain features to happen, but unfortunately it had the result of causing nasty bugs to occur elsewhere. But thankfully they've now fixed this issue, and ships are now not destroyed by players. In fact, the player came to a sticky end. Now, this week's special feature was on the mission system and how it ties in with Subsumption, because the two go hand in hand. We heard from Tony Zurovic and some of the other developers like Francesco Riccucci. Now, we also got a look at the Subsumption editor, which allows the NPC AIs to be spawned wherever they're required, for example in specific locations on a ship. Now, this feature was fairly long, and it did have a lot of talking in it, and it was quite technical, And especially when you hear Tony Zurovic explain things, well, I highly recommend that you listen and watch the entire piece from around the verse yourselves, because Tony Zurovic really knows what he's talking about. Now, basically, subsumption. What is it? Well, for example, I'm here in the shop with my friend, the shop assistant. Now, at the moment, he's not got much purpose in his life. He just stands around, with the odd itch. Well, like us all. But pretty soon, starting with 3.0, he's going to get some subsumption behaviour. Now, obviously with 3.0, it's going to be the first iteration. But in the future, he may well have some more meaning to his life. For example, he will turn up in this shop at, a regular time, go home, go out maybe to a bar. I like the sound of that. And interact with other AI and players as well. Now, he may well react differently to certain players, depending how they're behaving in the game. Now, that's basic subsumption, and I'm sure my friend next to me will be really happy that he'll have a purpose to his life. Now, CIG have just announced some changes to this year's Citizencon. There'll be the usual evening presentation, but this year doors will open at midday to enable attendees to actually browse a variety of booths and also to mingle with developers. Now, Citizencon is on Friday the 27th of October and is being held in Frankfurt. Now, the event is a complete sellout. In fact, it sold out pretty much straight away. But everyone will be able to watch the day's proceedings on Twitch. Well, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to like, and as always, it would really help the channel a lot if you could consider subscribing. So until next time, wherever you're watching, out in that big universe, you take care, and hopefully I'll see you all sometime soon. Bye for now.